Hi Scorpios, I'm Ellie Rose for Psychic Future, and this is your horoscope for the 24th of Feb to the 1st of March. So this week we are starting off the week with a new moon. It's a new moon in Pisces, so it's a very watery one. And you being a water sign, this is a really nice time for you to get creative about something, to take some time to give yourself a little bit of self-love and a bit of nurturing, taking care of yourself, being compassionate to yourself. Or it is a way for you to reach out to other people and to connect, perhaps even to some sort of higher source, like we've been talking about in the previous week. So there's a lot of Pisces energy about at the moment, but this particular new moon in Pisces is going to be a little bit different because it's conjunct Mercury, which is retrograde still. So Mercury retrograde, as we've talked about, is a time when Mercury looks like it's moving backwards. So thought and communications, they also move backwards. So you might find that people are not communicating themselves correctly with you. And by correctly, I mean maybe they're a little bit indirect. They're not saying what they mean straight away, and you're having to understand what the meaning behind what they're saying. Maybe someone says something that you misunderstand, or you say something that someone misunderstands, and it causes a little bit of a fallout. It can just be that people feel more distant and that they're not quite being heard. Maybe you feel like this week you're not being heard by people. If this is the case, just remember that this new moon is a time for going within and figuring out these things. So if you feel like you're not being heard, then why are you not kind of putting yourself out there more? Do you have that confidence within you? Can you try and find that on some level, the ability to kind of speak up and say, hey, I need this, or hey, I want you to do this, or hey, this is what I think about that. It's a time for really figuring out why we can't communicate in these ways, or why our thinking might be a little bit negative or a little bit kind of going around in circles this week. It can be a very, very positive week as well. If you do some sort of meditation, if you do some sort of art, some sort of creative task, it can be a way to connect to divine in a way, connect with your higher self. And this actually can really help you to figure out these kind of lessons that are helping you to find a new mindset for the coming weeks. Essentially, what it wants you to do is to say, okay, I'm done with that way of feeling, and now I want to feel like this, positive, and I'm going to do that kind of in the coming weeks. So I'll pick you a tarot card. Oh, yeah, okay. We have this one jumped out, is the Star. Okay, so the Star is all about healing. It's all about figuring out what it is that you need to move on from somewhere, some place that is perhaps not the most positive. It's all about figuring out how to be in the material world and to be in a world that is divine and spiritual too. So you will find that this week you are attracted to more spiritual pursuits. Maybe you want to play with some crystals, maybe you want to do meditation, yoga. These kind of things can really help you to heal. So that is all for me, guys. Happy new moon, and I'll see you next week.